Hello from the seasoned spouse. Welcome to my kitchen, and today I have a great video for you packed with ideas about setting goals, achieving your goals, streamlining your morning routine, and I even have a giveaway for this beautiful leather-bound Panda planner book. So I'll be showing you more from that, and we'll be talking about the best SMART way to set goals for yourself. So I know January is a popular time for everyone to have resolutions, goals for the year, a word for the year. We all have things that we want to change and improve in our lives. And there are ways that you can make your goals more achievable, more likely to be achieved if you take the time to set them properly. So there is a smart way to set goals, and I guess that means there's also a not so smart way to set goals. So today we'll be talking about the SMART goal setting method, and of course, being the military, it is an acronym. SMART goals stands for goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, rewarding, and timely. So we're going to talk about each of those. But when you're setting the goals for the year, or your goals for a deployment, or your goals for an upcoming PCS move, you want to keep them to things that are specific, measurable, achievable, rewarding, and timely. So I'm also going to be talking about some ways that I've set goals for our deployment and some ways that I've streamlined the life for my busy family. So if you're joining in, thanks so much. I'm so glad to have you here. And please chime in anytime. I'll be watching the comments. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have about setting goals and anything you want to know about setting SMART goals for your military life and your deployment. So when we talk about setting goals, we want goals that are SMART. That stands for specific, measurable, achievable, rewarding, and timely. Specific goals means that you don't just say, I want to be a better person this year. I want to be in better shape this year. I want my kids to be better behaved this year. Because those goals are not specific. There's really no way to tell when you've met it or if you've met it. And that's the type of goals that people usually burn out within a few weeks of New Year's. So when you set a specific goal, you say something like, I'm going to lose this much weight in 2018, or I'm going to make this much per month in my business, or I'm going to read this many books this year. So any type of goal, whether it's business or personal or fitness, can always be made specific so that you know when you're on track and when you're not. And the number one way to tell when you're on track is a goal that is measurable. That's the M in SMART. A measurable goal is one that has specific quantities, and that can happen at the end timeline, or it can happen in little milestones along the way. But again, if you're setting a fitness goal, you want to set a goal of how far you can run, how fast you can run. Those are things that can be measured. How many pounds you've lost, that can be measured. How much weight you can lift. All of those numbers, as they change over time, they're going to help motivate you and encourage you to continue with that goal. A goal that is achievable, that's the A in SMART. Achievable just means that it's realistic. It's something that can actually happen. Okay, I cannot set a goal of losing 50 pounds this year. That would be not only unrealistic, but very unhealthy for me. So when we set deployment goals, sometimes we get really excited of, I'm going to reorganize the entire house. I'm going to repaint everything. I'm going to teach the kids how to do another language. We're going to do these crazy things during deployment. But we need to be realistic about the amount of time that we have and the energy that we have. Otherwise, you just burn out in the first couple weeks, and then you spend a lot of the deployment very grumpy and frustrated. So an achievable goal is something that you've looked at. How much time do I have? And then you've broken that time down into weeks or months or years, whatever it is. And how much of this goal can I achieve at any given time? Is it realistic to lose weight during a deployment? Yes. You can lose maybe 1 to 2 pounds a week, depending on your body shape and your routines and all that. Is it realistic to lose 50 pounds during a deployment? Probably not for most people. So we want to set goals that we know that we can actually reach, and that would be a good thing for us to reach, not just a very imaginary pie in the sky kind of idea. And then finally, oh no, not finally, there's an R. The R in SMART is rewarding. You want your goal to be rewarding to you personally. It shouldn't just be something that you're doing to be a better person, although that is rewarding, but that's not going to be enough of a motivation. You know what I mean? So you want your goals to be rewarding for you. It shouldn't be coming from your parents' idea or your husband's idea, but you want something that's really going to fulfill you and encourage you as you're meeting that goal and as you hit each milestone. So again, returning to the deployment fitness goals, because lots of people set them. Everyone wants to be healthier and to lose weight and to look better during a deployment. But think about the reward. Is it all about homecoming day? Is it all about looking better for your husband? Because honestly, homecoming day is going to come and go. And I'm pretty sure that your husband is going to love you whether or not you've lost those 10 pounds. So as time goes on, is that going to be enough of a reward and enough of a motivation and encouragement to keep you going? Or are you focused on more personal, immediate rewards? Like, well, if I lose weight, I can be more active with my kids. I'm going to have more energy. I'm going to be more positive. Those types of things will keep you motivated and keep you excited throughout the deployment. And it's not all just focused on homecoming day. And so the T for a SMART goal, the last one is T, which is timely. When you're setting goals for a deployment or for any time, you want to give yourself a timeline, a deadline. And again, that has to be realistic. So if it's deployment, usually that deadline is going to be homecoming. If it's a PCS move, maybe that timeline is the day that you have to check out of your house. If it's anything else in military life, there's all kinds of dates and timelines that are imposed on us. And we need to fit our goals sometimes into these little chunks of time and little segments of when we are available. So a timely goal could be something that you achieve in the next year or in the next month. You just need to break it down into chunks. So as a blogger, as a business owner, I have goals for 2018. I have goals for the year, but I can't just keep them vague and say, oh, this year I want to grow my site and, add more followers and make more money off of my blog. I have to break that down into each month. What am I going to do in January to make that happen? What am I going to do in February and March to make September and October more successful? So when we're setting goals for ourselves, whether it's personal or business, fitness, social, any type of goal you have in your life, you need to break it into those specific times of, okay, within 3 weeks, I will do X, Y, and Z. And that way, as time goes on, you can look at X, Y, and Z and see how close am I to getting to them. That 3-week mark is coming up. I really need to step it up a little bit. Or, okay, it's only week 2 and I'm already there. So I'm ready to set some new goals for next month. I'm going to do A, B, and C. So when we set times and specific measurable milestones to our goals, not only is it exciting, it gives us something to celebrate, but it also kind of helps to keep us on track so that we don't set this giant goal for ourselves and then ignore it for months at a time and then suddenly say, oh my gosh, next week is homecoming. I need to lose those 20 pounds, because that's not going to happen. So the way to set SMART goals is to keep them specific, measurable, achievable, rewarding, and timely. That's the acronym for SMART, for a SMART goal. And so one thing that I love to do is to use a planner. This one I will be giving away for free, so it's blank right now. It is a panda planner. There's a tiny panda bear on the cover. I don't know if you can see him, but it's a beautiful leather-bound cover. And the panda planner, I think, is pretty cool because it is completely blank. And I will be including the link in just a moment on the bottom for the giveaway. So keep on watching. But the Panda Planner is cool because it's divided into monthly, weekly, and daily goals. and it's all blank, so it can be used for any purpose. You could use it for business, you could use it for personal ideas, for social plans, for fitness routines. You can write out your month, and like I said, each one is blank, so you could start this at any time. If you haven't set New Year's resolutions, make your first month February or make it March. Then there's these weekly goal setting sections, and you can write down ways that you want to improve, things that you're working on for the week. Again, this is a way of keeping you accountable and setting those specific, measurable, achievable, rewarding, and timely goals. What is it that's your priority for the week, and are you meeting that or are you not? And then the third section is the daily goals. You can put down your daily priorities, tasks that you have to complete. And when you sit down and do this, you see how your daily routine is going to match up with your weekly and your monthly goals. And maybe you'll find that you're getting too caught up in the busyness of your daily routine and that you're ignoring and you're skipping over some of those weekly and monthly goals. So you want to adjust your daily busyness to make room for those other priorities that you can achieve those bigger long-term goals. So I like this planner, and I think it's great for anybody because it is so blank and so flexible. It's not structured like some of the other planners that I've seen. And it's a nice, thick, leather-bound book. And I have to say, by the way, this is not a sponsored post. The Panda Planner Company probably does not know that I exist. They have nothing to do with me as a blogger. This is actually just a product that I like, and I thought it would be useful for my audience, so I am giving it to you. So that's my disclaimer so that you know that. So if you want to win this planner, I'm going to leave a link down in the comments. You can visit the post in the comments, and there's links within that post to the giveaway, which goes from now until January 19th. So you have 2 weeks to enter the giveaway. You can make multiple entries. You'll see when you click on it that there's a few different ways to enter. And then a winner will be randomly selected 2 weeks from now. So I really look forward to sending this Panda Planner to someone, and hopefully it will help you to jumpstart your goals and get the year started off on the right foot and motivate you to reach those big dreams that you have for yourself. So I'm going to put the planner down, and before I go, I wanted to talk about a goal that I set for myself. And this was a result a little bit from our previous deployment when my kids were younger, and then I'm still using it currently during a deployment, and it has really been helpful and life-changing to me, so I'm going to share it with you. So a goal that I had was to clean up or streamline our morning routine. I have 4 kids. They're all still fairly young, and when my husband's deployed, I'm responsible for them by myself. And that can be not only exhausting, but also really frustrating at times. And I found that mornings were just really the hardest time for me because I was barely awake. I'm very energetic and I'm very talkative right now, but this is the caffeinated me. All right. In the morning at 6 a.m. before I've had any caffeine, I'm not so chipper. And to wake up to all 4 of my kids at once, who are all immediately full energy and ready to go, was really hard. It was starting most of our days off on the wrong foot. And especially during the summer, I noticed that they were getting up whenever they wanted, and they were just coming into the kitchen. And by the time I came out here, there would just be cereal dumped and milk spilled. And not only was it a really frustrating way to start the day, but it was also a really big waste of food. And I got tired of just cleaning up and throwing away food every morning. So I set a goal of streamlining the morning routines and thinking, what could I do to make our mornings go smoother, to waste less food, and to help us get the day off on the right foot? And what I finally decided was my solution was to make breakfast the night before. That was a specific goal that I could meet. I could make breakfast ahead of time. And it's measurable. I measure it in 1, 2, 3, 4 breakfast containers for my kids. And I love these. My husband picked them up. They're just random Tupperware containers you can get at any store. So the bottom part, I think they're supposed to be for people that make fancy yogurts and things, but they work really great for kids. The bottom part, I just put cereal or oatmeal, and the kids like a couple different flavors, so I have different flavors in each one. And then in the top, I can do either yogurt or frozen fruit. It's great to use the frozen fruit because then you don't need to cut anything up, and it keeps longer, so you can buy a bunch of it at the store at one time. And then it thaws overnight, so they're ready to eat it in the morning. And they love that. The youngest one, she always likes to have yogurt. So she has her yogurt already scooped out. And then the oatmeal, I just need to make it up and cook it in the microwave in the morning. So she usually starts with the yogurt while I'm microwaving the oatmeal. So when I do this, it's just one simple gesture. It only takes a few minutes out of the time in the evening. And now that my kids are older, they've actually started packing them themselves in the evenings. And once I do it, I just put the lids on, throw them in the fridge, and then I feel so much calmer and more confident about the next day because I say, you know what, I've got this. They're already set. We're ready to go. And they come out in the mornings and they get their breakfast, and we have achieved smoother, quieter, less messy mornings. So that has been a rewarding goal. The reward is ongoing every day in the evening when I'm tired and I don't feel like doing the dishes and I don't feel like making everyone's breakfast. I think about that reward in the morning that, you know, the morning's going to go better. We're all going to be in a better mood. There won't be as many messes to clean up if I just make the meals ahead of time. And then it is timely because we started using it over the summer to prepare for deployment. And I said that I had a goal of keeping their breakfast routine, getting everyone used to the routine by the time deployment started. So that was a specific date. And we met that timely goal, and now we can keep on going. So that's one example of a way that you can streamline your morning by making breakfast ahead. And then I will share one other little secret, which has been making my own breakfast ahead of time. I don't like to have the same thing every morning, so I do a few different breakfasts, but this is one of my favorites. I learned during last deployment that I just had to make my own breakfast the night before. It was way too much work trying to feed 4 children while also cooking something for myself. If I wanted to eat healthy and have eggs or have something fresh, it wasn't realistic for me to be doing that in the morning while the 4 kids were already running around. So I found some high protein recipes that I could make ahead of time, and I could make them in batches and store them in the fridge or store them in the freezer and then just grab one at a time as I needed it. And that has been really helpful to me in my deployment mornings too. So I discovered overnight oats, which is a very simple way to make oatmeal for yourself. You use the regular old-fashioned oats, not the instant ones. And overnight oats are just oats that soak in milk and Greek yogurt overnight, obviously. And as they soak, basically, it's not cooking the oats, it's just they absorb all the moisture and they turn into oatmeal. And I know for some people, eating cold oatmeal might sound strange, but I assure you when there's milk and yogurt in it, you don't want to heat it up. So it's actually just fine to be cold and you get used to it. It's not like eating a cold bowl of grits or oatmeal or porridge or something. So it is half a cup of oats to the same amount of milk, half a cup of milk. Most recipes call for almond milk, which again, I always thought was a little strange because I was like, milk doesn't come from almonds. That's ridiculous. But it's actually pretty tasty. I don't drink it by itself, but it is really good in oatmeal or smoothies. And you can get it in a few different flavors. This is an unsweetened vanilla, which tastes pretty much like regular milk to me. But it has more protein and more nutrients and more health benefits for you. So each one, I like to make a couple at a time because, see, then you're saving time and you only need to do it a few times a week. Smart. So I make a couple at a time, and each one has a half a cup of oats, half a cup of almond milk, 1 container of Greek yogurt. And the Greek yogurt is good because it just has more protein. Usually you can get it with less sugar. You mix it up a little bit ahead of time, pour it on in there. And you can really do this with any flavor. This is a very basic recipe. I've found lots of recipes online that you can make some that taste like a blueberry muffin or taste like peach cobbler or all kinds of things. I just use kind of whatever flavor is available at the commissary. So this week that was cherry, but you can use any flavor you'd like. You can add seasonings, you can add vanilla extract, you can add cinnamon. I think the original recipe I used called for things like that, and I started leaving it out just out of laziness because I wanted to streamline the steps a little bit and make it quicker for me to make. So you can certainly add that, but I found that I didn't miss it much if I left it out. So you could also add your own sweetener, depending what type of yogurt you're using. This one has some natural sweetness to it, but if you want to add sugar, stevia, whatever your healthy decision is, that's fine too. And then you need a thickener, because if the way it is right now, it would be kind of soupy and liquidy by the next morning. So the easiest thickener is sugar-free Jell-O. This one's a vanilla flavor. Again, you could go with different flavors. You could do a chocolate and banana thing if you want. I'm just sticking with vanilla and cherries today because it's a nice basic one. And you don't really measure this. It depends how thick you like it and how thick you want it. But probably about a tablespoon of the vanilla pudding mix per serving, per cup. And then you just mix it around. And right now the oats are dry. They're just gonna sit there. And once they sit overnight, they're gonna soak up that moisture, and the Jell-O is gonna make it a little bit more thick. And then you end up with like a nice, healthy, high protein oatmeal pudding, which I love because you can just grab it out of the fridge. And I've even eaten them while driving. I will confess, it's something you can grab and go if you absolutely have to. Probably not the best portable driving snack, but it'll do in a pinch. And again, if you add frozen fruit, I just use frozen because then I can stick a whole bunch in the freezer and I know I have the ingredients on hand. I don't need to keep buying fresh produce and worrying about it going bad or the kids all eating it on me. So if you pour frozen fruit in there, then it's going to thaw overnight. So by the time you're serving your yogurt the next morning, it's just going to be back to regular fruit again. So that is one of my favorite deployment morning treats. And there you have 2 lovely jars of overnight oats. They are cherry, blueberry, vanilla flavored. Like I said, you can change the seasonings, change the flavors to whatever you'd like. Use fresh fruit, use frozen fruit, whatever you have available. But it's a great way to start your morning off with a little bit of protein, a little bit of nutrition, a little bit of positive energy, and that way you're not rushing around trying to feed yourself something healthy while you're also feeding your kids. So that is one of my SMART ideas and my SMART goals that we've used during deployment. Feel free to use my overnight oats recipe. Feel free to use these little jars to prepare breakfast ahead of time for your kids, or anything that you need to do to streamline your life and make things go a little bit smoother. Deployment is going to be a change of lifestyle and a change of routines, and you just need to take those little shortcuts wherever you can to make things a little bit more manageable. So if you're just joining, we're talking about setting goals, and we talked about SMART goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, rewarding, and timely. And one of the best way to reach those SMART goals is by using a planner and actually writing down what your goals are for the week, for the day, and for the month. So I'm giving away a copy of this Panda Planner. There's a link in the comments for joining the Panda Planner giveaway. And that link will be live for the next couple weeks. So the giveaway ends on January 19th. So I've had a great time with you guys this morning. Thank you so much for watching. And I'm going to go and put my fresh breakfasts into the fridge for tomorrow so that our morning routine will be more streamlined and go smoother tomorrow. So I've really enjoyed hanging out with you, and I hope that You can set some SMART goals for yourself. Please, in the comments, I'd love to hear what are some of your goals and some of your resolutions for the year. What are things that you're working on, and how can you make them smarter, specific, measurable, achievable, rewarding, or timely? So please share those with me. I'd love to hear them. And I hope that you can all enter the planner giveaway and have a chance to win your own planner to get your year organized and get yourself on track. So that has been the Seasoned Spouse signing off, and I'll see you all later.